Well, everything's coming together here, and I thought I'd show you guys my progress. Um, all the connectors are connected where they need to be connected. Um, not a lot to say there, just wires going everywhere. I really like the way this PDB is laid out. I like the fact that there is this header right here for the 5-volt Pololu regulator. Makes it very easy to get power to where it needs to go because it's in the center of the board. It's very nice. I'm a little bit annoyed that these lines here, like the buzzer line, the buzzer header is right here up at the front. I'm sure there's a very good reason why they put it there in terms of the board layout. But given that the buzzer is always going to connect straight to the flight controller, it seems like it would make more sense to have it over here where the line, you wouldn't have this line sticking out. I've got the telemetry sensor here as compact as I can get it. And then I decided to just hot glue it to the back of the receiver. These little micro connectors are pretty fragile and the wires can break off pretty easily. Not super easy, but it can happen. So I like to put a little thick CA right here to help reinforce that joint, and then just I've connected it here and transitioned to some thicker wire. Actually, a little thicker than I really need. I think it's 22 gauge stranded, and it's actually thick enough that when you put a crimp pin on it, it actually will not go into the standard servo housing. It's too thick. So I've just got these little single connectors here with the crimp pins and some heat shrink, and that's okay. It's not ideal, but it'll do, especially because the power is coming from here, but the ground is coming from there, so whatever. But I think that's a nice little compact thing, and it sort of protects this wire here from getting too much rough treatment. The other thing I wanted to show you is these crimp pin housings. Hang on. The other thing I wanted to show you is these crimp pin housings, which you're familiar with as just a servo lead, but in fact this is a generic thing. So for example, here is a 2-pin crimp pin housing, and here's a 4-pin crimp pin housing, and basically you can get them in any size you want, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever you need. And just by pulling up on these little tabs here with a very thin knife, utility knife, or even a very small screwdriver head, just lift that little tab, the pins will slide right out, and you can build any sort of custom housing you want. So for example, if you look here, I've got 3-pin housings here. It's a little hard to tell, but I've got the power here going to my receiver, but this line is the S-bus, and it's going to the lower level there. So I've just kind of built this custom housing however I need it. And that's a really nice thing to be able to do. The other thing you're going to want if you're going to do that is you get some of these crimp pins here, and they're just called female crimp pins, and you can order all this stuff from Pololu, the same people who make the regulators. You can order these crimp pin housings in any size you need, and you can order the crimp pins. And the crimp pins, I'm not going to try and show you how to do it because it would require very annoying camera management to actually do one. But it's relatively easy to strip a wire and crimp one of these on with I use just a needle nose pliers, just sort of crush these together and so forth. You can also buy for about $35 a crimping tool, but I don't think it's really necessary. And you can also buy pre-crimped wire leads, again from Pololu, and just build your own housings. What I actually like to do is just get a bag of servo leads. I haven't actually really worked out whether this is saving me money or not, but just get a bag of servo leads and take the wires out as need be. I tend to use a lot of these 3-pin housings, like most RC hobbyists do, I'm sure. So I I usually can get enough use out of that. But you can order the crimp pins by themselves. You can order pre-crimped individual wires, or you can order just the servo leads like this, and just sort of take everything out and make it how you need it. If you need a custom length, you can just cut one of these off. You've got one end already done, and then just put pins on the other end to make whatever length you need. It's very flexible, very versatile, and can make for a much neater install. Okay. All right, well, see you next time.